Effects of waste and pollution on factories. Well, we all know how industries affect the environment, destroying it. Air pollution just not just affects our planet. It also affects our health, like with diseases like lung damage. We breathe day to day all kind of toxic gases and polluted air. Heart damage. With things like cardiovascular problems that we are developing faster than in past years. Brain damage. This is very terrible because brain is growing up in kids and pregnant women that obviously affects their health. Lately, some of that sort of corporation that do all that damage have told us that it's our fault. The resources are almost over when they literally waste more water in one day than a human in his whole life. Also, it affects in the food that we eat because tons of factories waste end up in the ocean. So when we eat contaminated fish or food, we can develop intolerance to determined food or even sickness. This obviously affects us in so many ways, especially to the future generations. Because, well, in past years this wasn't really a problem. So imagine how it'll be to generations in I don't know 20 years. But not everything is bad. Besides what people think, nuclear energy is actually a good option that industries can use because nuclear energy actually doesn't pollute like gasoline, gas, or carbon energy because it doesn't release greenhouse gases. So it would be an alternative to corporations that they can use in energy.
Water pollution is a very important problem today, which we should all keep in mind. Since ice is something that affects us all, we have already realized that this problem is affecting the planet, which is your planet Earth, very quickly for a long time. A long time, but we have not given it the importance that we need. Some people saw water as something infinite, which is not the case. Science doctors saw the water of the planet. 3% of the water is fresh, which is water that we use. There have been several causes for water contamination. Some of these are global warming, industrial deforestation, agricultural and livestock activities, garbage and water discharge, fuel spills, among many other causes and effects of viscous toxic water that can no longer be used. This biodiversity contaminates the food chain and causes loss among other things, which is already very bad because the water is not only essential for humans, but for the entire planet, animals, plants, etc. To start helping this cause, it is best to start with taking care of the water, not taking long showers, no littering, reducing consumption of plastic, separating garbage, and avoiding the use of pesticides and fertilizers, among other things. The important thing about this is to really recognize and yesterday that this is a very big problem in which we all must help and contribute a little help. Thank you.
Animal extinction. Animal extinction is one of the main problems with the world. Animals die, but this isn't the worst part about this problem. Some ecosystems depend on these animals to exist. Without them, the ecosystem will weaken until they cease to extinction. And if this, and it most probably will happens, not only will that ecosystem be affected, but humanity as well. Humans need and depend on these ecosystems to survive. And if we don't have them, this could happen. Number 1, humanity will die. Number 2, humanity will run out of resources and eventually die. Or number 3, which is the most unrealistic, humanity will move to another planet. Some animals that went extinct by humans were dodo birds. 1690, they were hunted by humans, but also the pigs and the new animals that were introduced to the new world. They were the cause of this bird's extinction, and they had to deal with this territory lost, which was a bigger problem. Number 2, Western black rhinos. 2011. These rhinos were mostly hunted because of their horns, since it was used as a traditional medicine for the ill in a lot of places in Africa or Asia. Orangutans. They are not extinct yet, but they are endangered. Their habitat is being destroyed, and they're sometimes hunted for sport. Mammoths. 1650, before Christ. They were mostly hunted for sport, but they were also hunted for the skin and fur. The fur that mammoths used to have was really warm, so many people killed them for warmth. But they were also killed for food, since mammoths were usually really big and they were really great food providers. There are a lot of animals going in the same direction as these animals are. This is why, as we human beings, must take care of our planet and animals to make sure animal species keep growing instead of decreasing.
Environmental impact of fashion. The industry of the clothes is one of the most contaminating industries in the world. This industry contributes to 10% of global carbon emissions, and it affects us in every way you can imagine. Fast fashion throws untreated toxic wastewaters from textiles factories into rivers, which contaminate the potable water. You're making disappear one of the most valuable resources of the world, the water that is left on this planet. Also, another big problem is the production of cotton, which uses chemicals that kill 20,000 people of cancer and miscarriages every year as a result of chemicals sprayed on cotton. The chemicals, even if they have been through a process of making the clothes, they are still on the t-shirt you bought. Chemicals degrade the soil and your health that can lead you into a disease and even the death. This business has inhuman working conditions in which they don't have human rights and very low wages. This results in poverty and the enrichment of the richest. Most of the places where people work in these conditions are underdeveloped countries or countries with very bad laws, like India, Africa, China, Bangladesh, etc. They treated people like slaves and end up killing them because of the zero protection or equipment that helps them make their job without getting hurt. Imagine this, plus the excessive working hours. They don't even pay the minimum wage to the people who work in this industry, making them die of hunger with the family they are maintaining. Seriously, this is an agony and nightmare for the people who live these kind of things.